Good morning, this is Kitty Boitnott of Boitnott Coaching, or Kitty at careermakeover.coachesconsole.com. Today the topic is tenderness. I want us to remember that we should be tender with ourselves. We should take good care of ourselves. Now, this is May 31st. It's the last day of May 2016, so 5 months of 2016 have already flown by. I don't know where the days go, but here we are. We just celebrated Memorial Day weekend, which is I don't know if it's the official or unofficial start of summer. I also want to say, if you happen to be a veteran, if you have offered service and Memorial Day was in your honor, I want to say thank you for your service and your sacrifice. It is because of you that the rest of us are allowed to practice the freedoms that go along with being an American, so thank you. For the rest of us, whether you're a veteran or not, I want to remind you that it is important for you to be careful with yourself. I am a big fan of this whole notion of self-care. And one of the people that I turn to for advice on how to take better care of myself is Cheryl Richardson, who is the author of the book on the art of extreme self-care. She has had these beautiful cards made up, and this is an example of one of them from a 52 card deck, one per week. And this one on tenderness says, "Speak gently to yourself. Cherish the child within." And I wanted to use that card as the message for this week, because I've been thinking a lot about my own childhood this weekend. I'm not quite sure why, because my dad was not a veteran, but I've been thinking about him. And I've been thinking about him and remembering how he was where I first felt unconditional love. And there's an episode where I can recall exactly what happened and how what evolved demonstrated his unconditional love for me. And what I think I know is that for a lot of people, they didn't have the privilege or the experience of having a parent or a grandparent to offer that feeling, to offer that unconditional love and support. And so for many of us as adults, we feel like there's something missing in our lives. We feel like there must be something wrong with us, that nobody in our childhood extended that kind of unconditional love and support. What I want to suggest to you, that as we become adults, it is our responsibility to offer that unconditional love for ourselves. And what I think I know is that many of us become, instead of self-nurturers, people who are dedicated to our own self-care, people who are interested in providing our own unconditional love for ourselves, that instead we become our harshest critics. We feel like we're never quite good enough. We feel like we're always measuring up short compared to everybody else. We beat ourselves up because we don't think we are where we should be, or we're not doing what we should be doing, or life isn't turning out the way we thought it should or would. And so instead of being grateful, I talked last week about gratitude, instead of being grateful for all that we have, we look at all of the deficits in our lives. And I want to suggest to you that that is the perfect recipe for being miserable. There are no shoulds. There is what is. And if you feel like there's something in your life that isn't measuring up to the way you think it ought to be measuring, then it's up to you to change it, not somebody else. No one else can complete you. Remember the Jerry Maguire movie, "You Complete Me"? That's not true. There's nobody who can complete you but you. So be tender with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Cherish your inner child. Remember that we are each like little children. We have our sensitive feelings. We have our sensitive memories. None of us know what other people are going through. You don't know what I'm struggling with, perhaps, and I certainly don't know all that you're struggling with. What I know is that I owe it to you, and you owe it to me, to extend me the benefit of the doubt and to be thoughtful and gentle with one another. That's what we owe one another, to be gentle with one another, to be tender. And that's the message for today. Be tender with yourself. Now, if you've got strong feelings otherwise, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you think might be an alternative, a better way of being with yourself. That's my opinion, that we need to be more gentle with ourselves, take better care of ourselves, to be tender with our inner child. And that's my message for today. So, until next week, have a great week. Enjoy the first week of June, and I'll talk to you next week.